I see people falling into the chat. What's going on, everybody? In case you are wondering who I am, my name is Antonio Bryce. I am the creator of the comic book brand. We are currently on Indiegogo and have raised over $73,000 thanks to the kindness of good folks such as yourself. If you want to actually check out Brand and see what it's about, you can read the first 21 pages of it. I've got it loaded up in the description there, or you can just type in akaripress.com. It'll take you right there. But I have two outstanding comic creators with me. They are from Beyond Time Comics. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome John Hervey and Rod Super Luper.
Yeah, Rod Super Luper.
All right. Welcome to the show, guys. How y'all doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having us on, Antonio.
Yeah,
hey, man. Yeah, I'm always trying to do these, you know. So,
by the way, I did check out the first issue of Brand. I'm supporting that. That's hot.
Oh well, thank you, because we actually expanded it. We actually expanded Brand. It was going to be 48 pages. You know, we're adding 4 pages, so it's going to be 52 now. So yeah. Finishing it up. Last 10 pages. Ooh, let's finish strong. Get it to
like end of a marathon, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Gotta kick in those last legs.
Ooh. Right. Incredible. So, you had reached out to me and you sent me and man, so many people reach out to me. And sometimes I never know what I'm gonna get because like I'll look and they'll be like, Tony, I've got this book and I'm trying to crowdfund this and I don't know if this is what you're into, and they'll send me something and I'll be like, okay. And I try to keep open mind, but some people think the stuff looks good and it really don't look good. You know, if you're just being honest. But
I think it's the best way, right? To be honest.
Yeah, I don't have time. Like if I'm gonna sit, if I'm gonna set up one of these streams and have to sit here for at least an hour, and I'd rather at least think the book looks cool and stuff like that. You know, it's something I'm interested in. You know, before I'm gonna tell my audience, hey, check this out. This is cool. So, you sent me the link to your website, Beyond Time Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, let me start doing some screen share because I think what you got going on here looks really cool, and I think I want to let the people. It looked like you actually spent $1 or $2 on this website.
I did, man.
Yeah. So what's going on here, man? Tell me about Beyond Time Comics because you got a lot of books on here, and it looks like you're the writer on all, if not most of them.
Oh, I'm the writer on all 15 issues that you see here. You know, I guess kind of the the story behind that is, you know, if a company won't put you on, you got to kind of put yourself on. So
very true.
You know, I had some ideas for some comic book ideas. In the early 90s, I did get a chance to work for Motown Animation, and I got to write a book that was drawn by an artist named Chuck Drost. It was actually his creation. And that was the first time I was published. But I've always loved comics. And I had ideas of my own, of course, just like we all do. But I had no platform to execute them. So I decided to create one. And that's kind of the genesis of where this site is. But believe me, this is like the 3rd iteration of my site. So we finally got it right. It took a while.
It took a while.
And when I say a while, I mean years, because it was capital constrained adventure. If you know what I mean.
I just clicked on the Black Tiger Legacy of Fury, and I mean you've got who's doing these covers. This is as good as anything I'll see at like Marvel, DC, Dynamite. And it is so like what's going on here? It looked like you actually brought in some real pros to work on these books.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the story of these covers. So Greg Horn.
Oh, love him. Okay, yes.
Greg Horn did these covers. And I met him. I mean, Rod, when did we start making these books? It's 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years. I think it's 15 years. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So probably 16 years ago, I reached out online to Greg Horn, and he was gracious enough to respond. You know, I told him, hey, I've got this concept. This is what I want to do. He wasn't, at that time, they weren't really locking artists into contracts the way they do now. So they were doing freelance work, but if they had time, they could still do other work. And he said, hey, you know what? You seem like a nice guy. He's like, I'll give you my student rate. Let me tell you, if I could make his student rate, I'd be happy. But he's like, I'll give you my student rate. And he was on board to make some covers. So I was like, great. You know, I've got an awesome cover artist. You know, I need an interior artist, and I need somebody to do concept work. So I kind of started with a cover artist, but I didn't have any drawings for what the characters were actually going to look like. So then there was this site called Digital Webbing back in the day.
Yes, and Ed Dukeshire is a dear friend of mine. I love Ed Dukeshire.
Nice.
Yes, Ed Dukeshire is, I mean, he is a wonderful, wonderful human being. I truly adore him. He is awesome. So yeah, he's been a friend of mine for.
So you've been in the game for a minute too.
Not really. When I started trying to get into this. You know, obviously I've been a comic fan for, you know, about 40 years, but at that, you know, I didn't start. You know, I came up with the concept of brand in 1998. You know, just from working and whatever, I wasn't able to get it started. So I didn't actually start trying to get the book put together until late 2016. Okay. And then right around there, I started looking for, you know, artists to do like concept work for me and stuff like that. And through all that going on, like DeviantArt and all this, I started hearing the name of Ed Dukeshire. And what's so funny is, you know, a lot of people that, you know, have been on this stream, they all, you know, used to post on like Digital Webbing. In fact, Kanan won a contest there. I'm trying to think, it was First Comics or something. He had posted some art in the Digital Webbing forums, and he happened to win you know, which was you know, you got to do a published book or whatever, and that was one of the first paid jobs that Kanan White had, and that was, I mean, Kanan's been working professionally now for about 13 years.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, I was in his show with John, and I worked there in the Digital Webbing comic book too. I said to mainly in his, won't believe it, I was in the first issue. I did 5 pages. I don't remember the story, but was for the writer from Alaska, and it was fun. It was very, very fun. It was an awesome website, and me and John, we meet there.
Like 15 years ago through Digital Webbing.
Wow. I'm about to text Ed because I was just like, man, this is crazy. I actually hadn't talked to him, and he was kind of, because I've always reached out to people because I know he's got a lot of information about where you can have things printed and stuff like that. So I've tried to pick his brain from time to time, and I appreciate him being so generous with his time.
Yeah. So Rod's the penciler. I mean, he's done the interiors for all 6 issues, and actually, he's already penciled another 4 issues.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
For the follow-up series to the Legacy of Fury.
I think you can see a preview there, right? In the pages. You can click there, Antonio, and see some pages inside of the book if you want.
Let me see. I'm trying to
preview. Just go there.
Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Here it is. Preview. I see it.
Preview. Yeah.
Cool. Let me actually, because this is from issue 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's issue 4. Yeah.
Oh, it's issue 4. Okay.
And
so, okay.
So you can get some different looks. So on your screen, at the bottom near kind of the scroll bar. Yep. If you drop a little bit further, and if you go to your right.
You can zoom in.
So that you can zoom in. If you go further to your right, you can put, right there. That's called a panel mode. So click on that.
Oh,
And you go panel by panel.
Panel by panel.
Nice.
So if you reduce the size, if you minus the size, then you can look at each panel, or you can. So it's just meant to be, just to give you kind of different looks at the reader experience, because it's different than having a book in your hand.
Yeah, and I have a tablet, so iPad Pro, and it fits perfect, man. When you let the comic book pages, it's perfect. You just go with your hand, like flipping the pages. So nice.
So if you go back down to that scroll bar where you did a little bit of the plus, if you minus that all the way down, yep. So that'll just fit. Yep, that'll fit right into the page. Looked like it minus to oblivion.
Wait a minute. Yeah, no, wait a minute.
No, just
okay. So it was over to the side. That's why I see.
Oh Lord, what's going on? Okay, hold on. Let me go to see if I go to another page. If it'll correct it. So
just get back. Get back.
I just zoom it back in. It just looks like it when you were a little bit to the side when you zoomed. Yeah, so you just got to kind of recenter.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I'm back in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I mean, nice. You got good letterers on here and all that. So it's like looks really good, man. Who did your colors on this, or do you got like a team or something?
So this colorist is a gentleman, a dude named Robert Hawkins, and he's like a jack of all trades. I mean, he's like a hobbyist. He makes models and all kinds of stuff, and he did an excellent job on the colors. Really, and this is actually when we first published the book, we had a different colorist, and I actually had to have the book kind of recolored, when we went to a digital format.
I mean, man, this looks really good here. And so all these issues have like previews that you can check out?
All 15 issues have previews that you can check out. So if you want to hop into any of them, you can check them out. Just want to, give everyone a taste of what the books are about. Working with Rod has been amazing because you know how it is, Antonio, as a writer. Yeah. When you have a concept and then you start writing down what you're visualizing. When you're working with a good artist, they'll take that and they'll take the best stuff that you got, and they'll also see other things as well. And this is a process where Rod's input has been invaluable in the creation of this book.
Yeah, I don't like sometimes Kanan changes certain things, or he just interprets it a different way than what I had envisioned, but he generally tends to have incredible ideas.
Yeah.
That's man.
Yeah, and it's weird because our relationship as an artist started from beginning. Like the first plot that I read, I said, man, he had a really good story there, a superhero story, but with human feelings. And we connect mentally as a friend, and we are friends now for 16 years. And John is a really entrepreneur for him, because he's constantly updating the story, constantly writing new story, constantly thinking in how he can market his products. Man, he's a really entrepreneur. And now
and keep me in check, because he knows I'm always trying to push the boundaries on stuff. Yeah. But the good thing is, instead of just telling me no, like maybe I'm trying to do too much on a page, but what Rob will do is he'll take the heart of what I'm trying to do. Sometimes he needs to boil it down, but there's sometimes when he sees things, he's like, you need to expand on this. So it's really a good partner in that regard, in terms of the storytelling.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, man, you have already how many pages? I think our first issue have 6 numbers, right? And I said to him, man, you need to collect all that in a graphic novel. And then we thinking about it, how we could do, and we choose to go for Kickstarter because he was trying to make already a campaign, right, before this one, and we got succeed to print the version, and I really believe that if he tried to print Magna and all the others book, he'll get succeed because the stories are good, the characters are good, the art is good, the logo is really professional, high level.
And you've got this one here, Magna, which I see is illustrated by Marcio Abreu. I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah,
he's dope, man. I love him, and he's just like, I've been following him for about 2 years on Instagram. Because on the Akari Press Instagram, I tend to follow a bunch of different artists, and I'll take when they post their art, I'll take it and just post it on my page, and link back to them, of course, and give them their credit. But that's how I put my little hashtags in there and everything, and I use that to promote my comics.
Nice.
And I've managed to build up almost 12,000 followers on my Instagram.
Stuff, man. I need to take some notes on that. That's
bro. That's how I did it, because I was like, I noticed all the art pages were hot, and I was like, well, I can't draw, so I'll take. That's actually how I found Elliot Fernandez, and if I hadn't found Elliot Fernandez, I found Kanan from him posting on Elliot's page, commenting on, oh, that's dope or whatever. So I noticed that all the artists tend to follow each other.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I did is I went through the people that Elliot was following and people that were following Elliot, and man, it's crazy. But the Akari Press Instagram, I love that, and obviously I want to try to get it to 20 and 25K. Because I've managed to sell a book or two on the gram as well. But I love this cover here. This story here. I was like, yeah, man, you John, you've been putting the work in, man. I see. Look at this. This is a great cover here.
Yeah, man. John's the man.
I'm looking at this one. Let me check out, because when you sent me the link, I kind of did a little scroll. That's why I was like, I got to get these brothers on. Because I was like, it just, everything on the page just looked really dope. And matter of fact, again, guys, the description, the link in the description, if you want to actually go and check out BeyondTimeComics.com, it's in the description. Check that out. Man, they got a lot of cool digital comics here you can support, and sounds like they're gonna have some crowdfunding opportunities for collected editions, because all this stuff is just dope, man. I'm digging this. I'm like,
oh, thank you, man. At the end of the day, I mean, as a writer, there's no better joy than working with great artists, and working with Rod, an absolute pleasure. I don't know if it's just that Brazilian hospitality. I don't know, because Marcio, that dude, he's a sweetheart. He's just a solid dude. And, it's been an absolute joy, working with these guys.
And let me see, I got Sketch Therapy in the chat, and he says these are all finished. And from my understanding, he's got, how many issues do you have? Because you look like you've got 15 different, or how many different books are on BeyondTimeComics.com?
So right now there's 4 different series that are on there. There's all 6 issues of Black Tiger, and right now Rod and I are doing some additional pages that are going to be part of the graphic novel. Yeah, buddy, right there. Look at that. Boom.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. This is, like I said, I browsed this the other day when you reached out, and that's why I was like, I saw this shit. I was like, yo, I got to get these dudes on. This is hot.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. This is kind of stuff I'm into. Really good, clean art, great colors on it. This is, and like I said, your books, it looks like everything I'm seeing is just like $2.99 or something. It's not that, it's not gonna break the bank, because that's one thing that pisses me off about Marvel's digital service. Books are they're digital and they're like $4 and $5.99 for digital books.
Which doesn't make any sense. They don't have any other distribution costs. All they got to do is cover their production. It doesn't make any sense.
And the difference is Marvel and DC, they don't even need the money of the comic book. They make money off movies, T-shirts, everything. You don't need the money of the comic book. That's the difference. That's the difference.
I want to make some more books, y'all.
Yeah.
Don't need it. Let me see. Sketch Therapy asks in the chat. He says, "Do they print?" So are the customers able to back physical copies? Are they able to purchase physical copies of your books?
So right now we just finished a Kickstarter. So we're not selling individual issues right now, but we are going to do probably a series of campaigns. Depending on the demand, we may do an Indiegogo and just open up the Black Tiger one again as more people become aware of it. Because we've gotten a little bit of feedback since the Kickstarter closed. They're like, "Oh, man, that looks pretty hot. We didn't know about it when you're doing the Kickstarter." So we may open it just so that people can get the graphic novel, which will contain all 6 issues. And then the likelihood is we'll do the same for Magna. All 6 issues of Magna are complete. We're going to release issue 5 of Magna later this month and issue 6 of it next month. So that story arc is complete too for Magna.
Yeah, I'm liking this cover here.
Yes, sir.
And, yeah, it's like your women actually look like women. I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Don't worry. There's no. I don't do surprises like that. That's not part of my game. I mean, the women are women and the men are men.
Oh man, love this. Okay. Oh, she got some nice muscles on her. She's very toned. It looks like she is in shape. Okay.
Hey, you gotta. She's got to flex a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like, oh man, nice action shot here. Really, again, love the colors. And so it looks like you got a series of different colorists. And so where are you finding all these people, man? I was like, great colors.
Dude, let me tell you, I've been so blessed. So it's like, you know what the funny thing is? It's like all these people that I work with, they end up working with Marvel and DC. The kid doesn't. But everybody that I work with ends up doing that. Like the cover artist on the one before this was Elizabeth Torque. You know Marcio's work. He does great work. He's doing a lot of work for Dynamite. Omi's doing work for Aspen, but he's also done work for Marvel and DC. But these are all guys that I started working with before they were working for those places. So we're all kind of cool.
Right. You know? I got you.
But it's the same as my relationship with Rod. I just started off by reaching out to people whose work I really liked, and there's a really good artist community out there. Let me tell you. Reach out to people, be respectful, and people are the people I've spoken with, they've been really cool. And of course, there's some folks that don't get back at you, but that's fine. I like to work with the people that want to work with me, as opposed to work with folks that aren't really feeling what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, okay. So like I said, you're definitely not new to the game. So you've been doing this for a little while now. So especially you, John, what brought you into this, man?
Well, I'd have to rewind just back to my love for comics as a kid. I mean, it's funny. As a kid, I probably wouldn't have read if it wasn't for comics. And when my mom saw how much I love comics, this is back when you could get comics at the local drugstore.
Yeah.
So,
as a child of the 70s, I recall that. Yeah. Exactly.
So I would go with my mom, and she'd take care of whatever she needs to take care of, and she'd let me pick up a couple comic books. And that's how it all started. And she's like, the boy's actually reading. Because at first I was picking it up because of the great pictures. And I'm like, okay, well, now I need to see what's actually going on here. So I started reading. And that's a love that I never lost. I mean, honestly, I love movies. I love TV, but comics are my first love. That's the medium that opened up my imagination, because you're reading the words and you're almost filling in between panels, because you got the words, and it's like, I still to this day, I love comic books. That's
me too.
Oh man.
Always.
And it's one of those things where when I pick up a good comic book and I read it and has that good combination of the story and the art, I'll go over it multiple times. I'll read through it, then I'll look at it and I'll just watch the flow of the art. And I just, you can't beat that. So for me, when I worked at Motown Animation in the early 90s, you know, I realized that, like, man, you know, there's potentially an opportunity, you know, to maybe be able to do this as hopefully as a way that I can make a living. Now, it hasn't panned out that I've made a living making comics, but I've been able to do some freelance stuff. So it's not been my main source of income. But thank you. But I've kind of stuck to my guns about the kind of comics that I like. And honestly, I just want to make the same kind of stuff that I like. So, and that's what I figure. So I figure, just like you were kind of getting hyped up when you're looking at the pages, that's honestly how I feel. Like when Rod gives me a page, I get hyped up. I'm just like, oh man. And then is when I get a page, I'm like, okay, this pencil is so beautiful. I've got to have a colorist that doesn't destroy this, right? Now I need an inker that's going to do this justice. Now I need an artist that's going to do this justice.
I gotta say, everybody on my team, I mean, they're not cheap, but everybody on my team, I've been extremely proud of, especially when we were putting the preview together, because I had to reach out to my colorist, and he was, he does, he's worked for like Marvel and DC and Aspen and IDW and, different studios. And he was like, man, I'm kind of on a time crunch. I was like, yeah, I need this, in the next few days, and then I need you to shoot these over to the letterer. And then so we had to go back in, and there were a couple of things that, as I was reading it didn't quite flow right, and I had to tweak. And so it had to go back in. So we had to, I was the way everybody came together, and we put it in. And like I said, as soon as I put it out, the response was incredible. People went, because I've tried to explain what Brand was, and they didn't get it. Yeah. And so when they started reading it, and they, I told them about the mask, and then they go, oh, so he actually does float with him and talk to him and stuff. And it's like, and that's what I was trying to tell them. And so people see it now, and it's the visual helps explain it. And we've done over $3,000 in additional sales just from releasing. So I mean, people have been sharing it and going crazy, and I'm really happy about that, especially as we want to finish this one up and get ready to launch Way of the Gun.
Like Sketch Therapy was asking how many finished issues in total. In total, there's 15 issues on the site. Next week it'll be 16 when Magna number 5 is released, and then it'll be 17 next month when Magna number 6 is released. But ultimately, the thing with the reader is, we really want the reader to be. I want it to be something like a brand. I would love for other really high quality hot books to be on there, and it to be something that's more of like a community where people know they can come and they can see just the best of the best in independent books, because there's such a humongous sea of books out there, and you almost need something like a mini comicsology for independent books, because when you look at independent books, the quality range is so wide. I mean, there are books that are hotter than what Marvel and DC are putting out, and then you have other books that you're saying like, man, if somebody isn't in the comics, I hope they don't see that, because then they'll never come back. And just to provide a place where it's almost like a community where people can come and just say like, you know what, these books are books. It's like, Fred, I'll give you an example. My wife, I got on Comixology, and she's just like, what am I supposed to do with this? She's like, I don't know these books. How do I know what I'm supposed to pick up?
Yeah, it's too many things.
Literally the hottest independents. So it's like, whatever your genre is, whatever it is, you can trust the fact that that's Antonio's book. So by that mere, and we all have artists and folks that we know that like, hey, that person's on that book, so I know it's going to be hot. And just to have a collection of folks who we're all making books, and we're all in a localized spot where it's like, I'm part of a community that's just adding to the hotness. It's like, oh yeah, Antonio's book is here. Because Rod has some other independent books of his own that we're going to publish through there that aren't Beyond Time books. And we got some other folks that are going to be coming on board. And this is just, to me, just like your book, Brand. That's why I start off by telling you it's hot. I just want just hotness. just books that people just say, man, this is heat. Look at these books. This is great independent content, and just a place for people to come and, hopefully make a little bit extra coin for themselves, because it's not PDFs. I don't like the idea of PDFs.
Yeah, I don't like to PDFs. I'm an old guy. I can read on PDFs.
I prefer digital comics, but I cannot deny what the PDF has done. The PDF definitely, a lot of people were like, you described brand, but I still don't understand what it is, and all this, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, okay, and they got a book that they can actually read a good chunk. So
yeah, and what I like with the preview, it's like if you have something like a brand on there, you say, like, look, here it is. Here's the preview. Oh, I get it. Okay, so if you like it, purchase it. And you don't have anything. You don't have all this free stuff floating out in the ether. That's just what I'm not a fan of. I just don't like PDFs of my stuff floating around, because then all of a sudden everybody's,
Yeah. And I'm like, I love it. But like you said, the website looks great. I'm talking with John Hervey and Rod Luper from Beyond Time Comics. You can check out beyondtimecomics.com, and they've got a ton of really affordable digital complete issues on the website. But it's just it looks really, really good. But man, I was like, you look like you've been putting the work in.
I was thinking about what John said, and I think lately, mainly because of the indie comic books, the market is starting to change in US, more near to the European market, when you see just one album for one author, and you wait a whole year to get, man, this artist released one album, and we get it. And I think it starts to be a little bit like this in this Indiegogo campaign. You don't look just for the character, as we in Marvel and DC. Sometimes we don't even care about who is the penciler, who is the writer. You just want a Batman comic book. That's it. Now the things start to change. I want a Antonio book. I want a John Hervey book, and good story for them. And I'm starting to notice that many campaigns and people, and because mainly the marketing from this new indie comic books come from Twitter, Instagram, so they come from your own fans, your own audition. Is not something that Marvel DC put huge of money on marketing and to sell comic books to everywhere. I think the indie market is start to change in US, more near like a rock band, you know what I mean? Like a rock band, You wait a whole year to get, oh man, I don't know, Oasis released a new album. I need to get this album for this kind of band. And it's nice. And this platform from John, as he said to me, is start to open to other creators, indie creators. And I think it's better than have many PDFs floating everywhere in different sites. You can send to John, and he take care of everything, and you make some point.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll say I actually want to ask you. I'm always interested in talking to different artists. Rod, what brought you into the art game? Were you one of those kids drawing at 3 or 4 years old, or what? What brought you to comics? Because you're down in Brazil, or
no, I live in São Paulo, Brazil. January, and I'm an old guy, so I born before internet, so to get some art information was really hard when I was young. We don't have like YouTube, Facebook, nothing. It's just comic book shops, and I started with a comic book named here in Brazil, named Turma da Mônica, that is only for kids. It's like a Disney comic books. So I learned to read from those comic books. But then when I arrived in 13 years old, 14 years old, I saw a Batman comic book from Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My mind blows. That cover of Batman from everywhere. I said, what the?
Like his cape was alive.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, is that the cover? Is that the one where he's got the cover kind of out and he's got like a little girl or something?
Oh,
yeah. I remember. Yeah, everybody's saying they made a statue of that. They've got a statue coming out of
one,
that.
and I remember of a double spread page when he's in the cemetery and you see the cover. Man, and I was watching Batman on television, like the 16 series, Batman and Robin, and I said, what? Batman can do this too?
Adam West.
Like and I think a week after, I went to the comic shop and I arrived Dark Knight from Frank Miller. And boom.
Oh, man.
Said,
definitely read that.
And then another one, The Messiahs from Barry Wrightson. Bam, again. And then the Joker from...
You know about Batman and Killing Joke, Alan Moore?
Damn. I said, man, that's it. I want to do that for the rest of my life. That's it.
I'd love to talk to Brian Bolin one day. Yeah, it was like Brian Bolin. Oh,
insane. I have this book. I think I had 3 or 4 copies because I was studying like a crazy guy. Like every single pen I was trying to emulate, trying to copy, trying to learn anatomy, everything. From Todd McFarlane, Frankie Miller, I mixed it all together. And then I start to work, and when I arrived 18 years old, I get in an agency that was starting to sell Brazilian artists for U.S. markets. Mm-hmm. So then I meet there Mike Diodato, Egan Reyes, Ed Benes, Luper Ross. I was in those guys when they started, and I was a little younger. I think they were 10 years older than me. I was a young kid seeing these guys drawing and learning, getting some tips from them. Then I stayed there for 2 years, but I make like 300 pages of samples for Marvel, DC, Dark Horse. Never get a chance. Never. Then you start to grow, and the bills come in, and you say, man, I need to make money. But something always stuck in my mind. If I have to make money, it'll be with art, no matter what. I will need to draw and make money. I don't even knew how you do that. Then I have a chance for another guy that was starting to release comic books in Brazil. And I talked with my agent. I said, man, I'm here 2 years without salary, coming here every day, every week, trying sample pages, and nothing happens. What's wrong? I was asking for Roger Cruz, Luper Ross, for those guys, man, point me around. Where is my mistake on these pages? And that guy's mad. I can't say nothing. You don't have a space here. So I don't say what to say to do for you. Yeah. So I say, man, it's time to leave. Then I leave the agents and go with my friend Orlando, and we release some comic books here in Brazil. And then I little by little start to appear internet in Brazil, and I will start to discovering some websites. I remember the first connection in Brazil was like the old ones before cable, and we open a Top Call website to see a Mark Silvestre art, and then you open a JPG image and it goes like this, then.
Yeah, you're using your phone line. You're like,
oh my god! And you take a coffee and stay like 4 hours to see a image. Bam, bam, bam.
I definitely don't miss dial-up. I gotta be honest. I remember when I had just regular dial-up on a 56K modem, and then they upgraded us to we upgraded to a DSL line. And it was, when you go from 56K to a DSL line, it's like
life changing.
Yeah, it was
that's like light speed. You hit
light speed.
And then I got a cable modem, and then I was like, oh, it's like a snail's pace. But yeah, when you just going from 56K to a DSL is like on another level.
And soon I think when they arrived, DSL started digital webbing. Then I start to put some pages there as a sample, and then I get some gigs, and I meet John, The rest is history. Never stop to draw. Get gigs and gigs and gigs. And work since then.
Yeah, based on what I'm seeing, you seem to have got the hang of it. Yeah, it definitely looks really, really cool, man. I was just especially I really loved what was that? What's that? Black Tiger?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought that it looked really dope, man. I was like, you got so many. Matter of fact, let me pull the site back up because we got people that probably weren't here at the beginning, and let me pull the site back up so that I can go over some more of these great projects you have here on the Beyond Time Comics.com website. And so let me see. So I saw this one, and it's called The Posse.
That's right.
Yeah, this is a good book. Really, really good book.
And so let me see here.
This could be a TV series, man. Pretty easy to.
Oh wow, man! Let me see. Okay, so let me go into preview.
That cover artist Valerio Giangiordano, he just got his first Marvel gig. He just did his first cover for Marvel. So if you look him up on Twitter, you'll literally see his first Marvel cover. Like he posted it like in the last couple of days.
Let me see. Let me blow it. Oh yeah. Nice colors again. All your books look really good, man. Great letters.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, man. Because I'm telling you, I wanted Brand to look like, it could be on the shelf with like Marvel and DC books.
Exactly.
And I see a lot of indie guys that if you can spend that extra dollar and go ahead and pay somebody, because I've seen. There was a book I had on, and the guy had looked like he had a good artist and everything, and then he cheaped out on the lettering, and the lettering wasn't very good. And I was just okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, you went through all that effort. You definitely made sure you had a good artist, but your letters kind of took away from the experience. I mean, look at these letters here. This is fantastic. Yeah. Just beautifully colored, nice page layout. I can't, that's a 10 out of 10, brother. I love the way this looks like. Just really clean art, nicely lettered, nicely colored. Just that's great, man. I love it. So
all the issues have been lettered by Marco de la Verde. He's actually out of Spain. The dude is awesome.
All your people are international. Like,
I told you.
know what? Thank God for the internet.
He's a real entrepreneur, man. He's a real entrepreneur.
That's the power of the internet. You can just, you find people that are of the caliber that you want, and they're willing. They want to work with you.
Well, yeah, and I can actually relate to that because, I had hired Kanan to do some promotional art for it, but he couldn't commit to the series at that time.
Yeah.
And so I originally had an artist by the name of Jimbo Salgado. And he actually did a pinup with David Craven and Dark Santana, which I loved. And man, I'm on here. This is your book, The Orphans.
Yeah.
And yeah, all this shit looks dope, man. I'm digging all this, man. So yeah, man. And like I said, you got really good prices. All your books can be. Do you have any kind of deals is there like a coupon code or something where, like, if I want to, like, say I want to buy, all 6 issues of Black Tiger, is there a way I could like get like a coupon or something? I don't know if that's possible.
You know what? That's a great idea. It's not. I don't have it structured that way yet, but that's definitely something that I want to be able to do. I need to, now that the basic readers together, I need to figure out how I can, can incentivize people, with some deals. If somebody wants to buy the whole series,
look at this.
So maybe great. A discount.
I mean, this is really good. Look at this. I mean, great colors. Just, man, everything. I mean, everything's top notch, really professional. Great. Like, this is some of the best art I've seen. Just nice, almost, reminds me of like Mike Waringo, may he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
I love this style here. Just great. Oh man, I was like, because I was a big fan. I read Mike when he was on The Flash with Mark Wade, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah.
so when I just kind of have a soft spot for it. I was like, man, I was like, man, this looks really, really good, man. You've outdone yourselves here. This is, yeah, man. Let me look at the next issue, because I was like, I'm just seeing this stuff, and it makes me. I was like, hey, I need to know more about this. Let me check it out. Let me see. So that was issue 1 of The Orphans.
And you see, Antonio, it fits well in iPad. If you have an iPad, it's like a book. Just go for the page, and that's it. And you can zoom in, see the panels, zoom out.
Well, let me see. Yeah, Sketch Therapy in the chat says, yo, check it out. The backgrounds, even Marvel don't do that anymore. Marvel sucks so bad these days. Well, I've noticed that a lot of the newer artists, the background, I mean, yeah, you got great everything. Just like I said, man, I really, really dig this. Let me do a little zoom in on it. And just nice, clean, great letters. Oh, look at that, man. Just fantastic. I love this, man. This is
I appreciate that. I'm very much like you. I love the medium, and I'd rather take the extra time and even a little bit of the extra coin to really execute. I'm just like you, Antonio. I mean, that's what I love in a book, and that's what I love when I'm picking up a comic book. So,
I think the same, man. I think the same. I want to be dragged to the story, and every single aspect from the page is important for me. Like you were saying, the letter was good. If the letter is so, for me, lost my attention. So,
yeah, that's the thing. I said what I was mentioning. What I saw is I saw a book that looked like the art was pretty good and it had been colored very well, and it almost looked like he had just went and did like a straight up square box on the font, and it was just like he just typed it in a typewriter, wasn't trying to get creative with it. And I was like, man, you really let your product down.
Yeah, totally.
Man,
it's a mistake to think that lettering is an art, And sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm just going to letter my own book." Well, if you're a letterer, then go for it. But if that's not something that you're artistically inclined to, you better get somebody that's got that skill set.
And that's something that John always had in mind. He always was honest with me and the others collaborator. So if he make Rod, I have money for 10 pages. That's it. Okay, let's work in those 10 pages. But he paid me every time on time, sometimes upfront. Rod, I need you because I was working concept art or another gig. Man, I need to finish those 10 pages. I said, I don't have time, John. I don't have time. And he sent me the money up front. No, man, I need 10 pages. I said, man, I need to work on this now. And I put so much effort, man, because I was getting trust by him little by little with those little actions. And it was so important to let our friendship solid, those actions. And this is a vision of an entrepreneur. He understands how it works. Mind of an artist. He know how to treat professionally the artist, every single step, the letter, the color, the inkers. So this is the end result of many years of labor, of working.
I had to zoom in on this because look at this great overhead shot here. This is right here. This is like a master class. And
nobody does that anymore.
There was the reason I was drawn to it. There's a shot like that kind of on page 1 of the brand preview where it's got like a side shot of Dawn's face close up, and then you see this nice overhead shot of her where she's walking down the highway.
Yeah, and start to get in the story. And they start to get in the story little by little. They start to read the panels, and it seems like the camera puts into the middle of the image. It's so nice, man.
Yeah, and that's a great overhead. And I mean, look at how beautifully that's colored. I mean, you cannot beat that. Those colors are solid, great letters on it, man. This just looks fantastic, dude.
And really wanted that to be like kind of like a Chinese New Year's type dinner. You know,
beautiful art, man.
I appreciate with the artists. It's like I'll send crazy references, man, and they will get at it. you know, they will get at it.
Man, it's just nice, exquisite colors, and this is great, man. I love this. This is really, really good job. So you got, like I say, you got 6 issues of this already done and available for just $3. You can read them on the website.
That's it. Just buy it.
Do you do? But I feel say someone sent me. There's a print on demand service where I guess you can load up the issues and then they can just pay whatever and have it printed and shipped to them. I was like, man, I think this would do
That's a
well.
good idea.
Yeah, I was like, my God, this looks great. Was it Brian Ball that does Rag Zombie? I think he was the one that sent that to me. I was like, yeah.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, and I didn't know the site existed. He sent it, and like I say, you can just buy it. You can just buy a copy of like Rags and just buy it right there. So I was like, man, you already got all this completed work. And some people are saying they want like physical copies, man. You could load this stuff up and just promote it like that, man. I like I say, you got great. Oh man, I love this, man. This is great stuff, man. Just nice. This just looks like comics to me. It doesn't, man.
Totally.
I was like, oh, okay. Like, look here. Look at the nice insert panel here so that you can see what's on the phone.
Yeah, nice.
Now,
and you can see the flow of the dialogues that make your eye flows for the whole panel. Like she had to leave.
Well, like I said, I really like this because now, did you put this in? Do you draw digitally or is this traditional? Or
so that was drawn. So this was Diego Bernard who drew these couple of pages, and it's kind of a combination. So he actually did the drawing, but then the letterer was the one that did, that took care of everything that's on the screen.
Oh, I got you. Because some things Kanan put, because he's doing so much digitally, he can just go in and just put it in there, and I'll be like, wow, it amazes me what you can do with the computers nowadays. Because back in the day, someone would have just like drew some little squiggly lines, and that's supposed to be. And I was like, you can just do. You see that panel, and it's got right there on the phone. You can see exactly what's going on. I really. And again, great Greg Horn cover here. I mean, like I said, a print on demand service would really benefit you to be able to you can
about that cover. If you scroll up, look at her knuckles, man.
Just I love Greg Horn. I'm a big fan of his.
Her knuckles were even red.
That's why I'm like, yeah, he just it'd be nice to get a brand cover one day from Mr. Horn, but he's one of them that I'm just a big fan of his, and just love, man, you've got some really good looking stuff on this page, man. It just, wow, man. I'm excited because this is, I was like, everything I've seen, I was like, nice colors, nice letters, everything looks good. And I was just like, I can't always say that. And so really, really excited to have you here today and have this opportunity to talk to you guys. So
and I think the important thing that what John was saying to me, that is he's open that for others indie creators. So I don't know how it works, John, but you can explain better.
My mindset is in books like Brand. I think for an indie creator, that it's a very long cycle, Antonio. And then what ends up happening is if you got to fill the cycle just yourself, people kind of, man, when's the next time I'm going to get a book from this guy? But if you have collection, a consortium of really high quality producers, then people are always getting something. You know, they may not be getting your book for another 6, 12 months, but they're able to get another book and they're able to get something else. Okay, so I'm following Brand, and I'm gonna, you know, when he does his next Indiegogo, I'm gonna support it, and then another year I'll have that book, and then I have a whole, you know, but I've got a series of books that I'm supporting, independent books that I'm loving, and we don't have that stress of, man, I need to get this out faster, you know, because I haven't put anything out in, you know, God knows how many months or years.
And
go ahead.
No, I had the idea. I don't know if I talked with John, but I pretend to release my own comic book in Indiegogo, maybe beginning of next year. And I was thinking, because always in a campaign we see PDF version, so I was planning to let a link so you guys pay $3 and goes to John's website. You know what I mean? Because what's there, you'll be there, the comic book. Instead of you get a PDF.
Yeah, so like for instance, with our campaign, the way that I'm fulfilling the digital, you know, to let people also have the digital copy is through the reader, and we're going to do the same for Rod. So when Rod does his campaign, he'll have a certain cost for his, you know, digital to get a hard copy, and if they do a digital, he can just do it through the reader. You know, so we can provide it to the reader. And you know, at the end of the day, I know community is the key. You know, I know community is an indie community is the key. You know, and I none of us can put out a book every month. Probably can't put out a book every quarter. You know, but we can fill a nice pipeline for people and have different books coming out at different times.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. I know Kanan will be the first to tell you. He's definitely not on that speed level where he could be like a monthly title guy. But when you see the pages, you see the pages and the amount of detail and everything he's putting in. I mean, my God, everything I'm getting in just looks incredible. And I was just like, yeah, man, this is everything I saw that I showed on the screen just looked outstanding. You should be proud of the work that you've done. It looks outstanding. Hopefully, a few of these people that are watching now and then will come back and you know, watch, because I get a lot of replays. You know, so like when they come back and watch, you know, some people are across the pond or whatever, and they're, you know, they come back and they watch. Go to Beyond Time Comics, man, and support these comics, man. It just looks wow, man. This looks great. Everything I saw just looked really cool, really clean, professional. Yeah, and you guys,
Gilbert was there in the chat, and he's a really nice campaign on Indiegogo also.
Yeah. I had him
really
on.
Really nice guy, man.
Yeah. Gilbert's been on. He's been on. Let's see. I had him on last year when he had a Layer out, and then he was on. What was it? Just about 10 days ago or so for Galactic Rodents of Mayhem.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I put the both guys together by email. I sent Gilbert, send an email to John and put your comics there, because Gilbert has this mind of entrepreneur. He always delivered his comics. He made, I think, 2 campaigns before this one. Pistolera and Layer, right?
Yeah, and I see Sketch Therapy saying that Layer looked magnificent. I'm sorry I didn't get it, but from what I saw on the new campaign for Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, he has a perk on there where you can actually get his other books. You can get like Pistolera and you can get Lair if you back it. You can back it at one of those tiers. So I thought that was a really smart idea. He overprinted in that way. And yeah, I'm definitely going to overprint a few copies of Brand, because I'm having people asking, just like, yo, I may not be able to get it now, but like when you launch the next one, then maybe we can get in on it. So it's
that's
great.
the advantage of digital. You can upload it on the John website, and you'll be there forever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whew. Well, I mean, all right, guys. Whew. I have had a blast talking to the both of you. This has been fantastic. Appreciate you guys stopping by. This has been really dope. John, tell everybody how they can reach out to you on social media and all that.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at Beyond Time Inc. You can find me on Facebook. You think I'd have all my stuff the same, but it's not. At BeyondTimeComics.com, and also Instagram, Beyond Time Inc. Or you can just use my name, Hervey.John. Look forward to hearing from you guys.
All right. All right, Rod, how can they reach you, brother?
My main social media is Instagram, so you can find me there by rod.luper, and Twitter, rod_Luper. And I open a YouTube channel with a friend of mine, Artsida, and it's named 2D Art, and it's all about tips of drawing. And I will start to make live streaming from me drawing the amount of pages of comic books that I have to draw every month. So follow me there too on YouTube. And thanks everyone for the night.
Yeah, well, like you said, a pleasure to have you both here today. But let's see. Well, guys, man, this has been great. I've enjoyed our conversation. My thanks again to both John Hervey and Rod Luper for being here today. But with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series Brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm out. Beyond time, people. Beyond time.
Yes, sir. Thanks, brother.